Had to get this mic turned back on. Leland live on your radio. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show this hour. Y'all, I'm 2015. I've been 2015 for going on 7 years now. And it's exactly times like this. I'm out touring in the American West, just looking out at the beauty of the world. We've got a stunning country. Y'all should all go do this sometime. I'm telling you, do it on the road too. Do it by car where you can just slow down and take it in. And being able to see things I would have missed, even with glasses or contacts, I don't ever underappreciate that. I really value it, and it's because I finally did it. I finally went and got LASIK a few years ago after years of encouragement from friends that had done it, and I'll admit I was wrong. I was stubborn. I'm trying to not be so much like that in my old age. Consider it if you're in glasses or contacts. It can be life-changing, and do your homework. Go down to Michelson, let them examine you. They may determine that you're not a good candidate, and that's not ever good news, but it's just true sometimes that you're not medically eligible. But if you are, then they'll explain the risks and the benefits. They'll give you a real education, not a sales pitch. Then make your mind up. Decide if it's something you want to do. And again, the procedure's only improved since I did it almost 7 years ago. It's so much more advanced with this Contura system. It's MichelsonLaserVision.com. The legend, Dr. Mark Michelson, who brought the first laser to Alabama, and Dr. Jennifer Michelson, whose whole life is growing up around this, and she always wanted to be an eye surgeon like her dad, and there she is. Both of them giving you excellent care with just some of the best folks in the business taking care of you. MichelsonLaserVision.com. Downtown UAB Highlands. All right, let me follow up with the previous caller, Margaret, about the incidental Fox story. People kept sending me that yesterday, and I didn't even get around to bringing it up, but they somehow did a fat finger post and put up a story that Jared Hudson has won despite the Trump endorsement, and what does this say about Trump's endorsement? And so immediately people had their agendas read into that. Look, it's Fox, and they do have a lot of left-wing people, and I think some of them so resent Trump just kind of dominating their news cycle. Sometimes they'd love to have a storyline like that. But I will tell you that in that business, because speed is of the essence, and I'll tell you all a couple of little stories from even years ago, sometimes you pre-think options and get the work done. In other words, they'll write a story, well, what if this happens? So it's easier in a controlled setting when you're competing and you want to be first to have the story out, to pre-write it and say Hudson had won. That story was ready to go. Boop, send. Fox is ahead of everybody. They've put their piece up. Same thing on the other side. And I don't know if it was an opinion piece or a straight news story. I think it was perceived to be a straight news story. I'm sure they wrote other versions of it. We used to do something similar to this, and it sounds morbid and maybe even almost tacky, but I remember we had something called the obituary shelf in the newsroom here in Birmingham. And what that was, and it was a tradition that had gone on a long time, if there were prominent people that were getting older or had some health issues, we would go ahead and put together a retrospective on their lives, because in those days, again, it was in tape, the days of tape, and not really all this quick digital access, to be able to go into the archives and find, for example, George Wallace. I think I remember him being on the shelf before he passed away. They would go and pull all the old videos, write up a bio of their life, and it was actually when you're trying to pay tribute to somebody, and if you get the news of their untimely passing, you want to be ready to put that on the air. So you would send your anchors to the news desk, do the breaking story, or put it in your newscast that night, and then the tape's ready to go while your competitors are sitting around. Now, you're not predicting they're going to die when you write it, but we're all going to die. You're just kind of prepping. So I really think that's what this seems like. And Margaret, who was so sweet to call in, said she actually reached out, and the guy said that's what happens. I'm telling you, it's not unusual for people to pre-think. It seems like double the work, but in that business, speed kills is what we used to say. Now, there have been other cases of this where a station or an outlet would put up a graphic showing the election night totals and numbers showing somebody won and somebody lost, and people read conspiracies into that. We've chased that story so many times on this show during election season Well, if I'll just make something up, say tonight they showed Barry Moore won by 3,000 votes, and people like, see, they've already baked it in the cake. And that's not the case either. Generally, what happens in that case is they're testing their systems the way I think it still kind of works this way because everything's so interconnected. Most of the election screen totals that you will see tonight and when you're following election totals are all getting that raw data from a central system that most of the media will pay for, or say in those days it was Associated Press. They would aggregate the numbers in one location as they come in, and then that would immediately feed into the graphics system of the TV station, and then you hit a button and you put that graphic up, and it's populated by almost automatically by the numbers that are getting fed in. And so the anchors, they're not sitting there. They don't have the resources, all these outlets, to send individual reporters to each polling site and gather the numbers themselves. So the truth is they all have the same numbers, and they all typically get them at the same time. When you're watching coverage tonight, watch for your favorite anchor, I guess. But as far as who gets the numbers first, they all get them pretty much through the same system at the same time. And so in advance of that, they will go ahead and test their graphic system to make sure that the numbers are going to populate. And sometimes when they're in there doing that stuff, they'll just hit a button and it's on the air. And it's always embarrassing. But my experience is there's no real conspiracy associated with it. And then that just reminds me of the race I was involved in that was my first sort of big time statewide race. And this exact scenario cost us 3 days of recounting in a governor's race. Let's review. And I'll tell y'all behind the scenes exactly what happened. And I've told this story on the air many, many times. So it's Don Siegelman versus Bob Riley. And I'm managing on the Bob Riley team. We're set up on election night. We had decided to go over to the Talladega racetrack to their big banquet hall that they have over at the near the Hall of Fame to do our election night return party. It made a great media environment. I had set that up all day. There were some heavy thunderstorms coming in, and we didn't want to do an outside event. So I'll never forget where I was standing as the numbers are rolling in, and we knew the polls were tight. Our polling was tight. But instead of trusting that system I just described to you, the automatic system where Associated Press are the gatherers of the information, we sent our own poll observers to all 67 counties to stand in the courthouse, to look at the wall and write the numbers down. And so what happened that night was that race was within, if I remember right, it was like 300 or 500 points statewide. And Associated Press had a reporter down in Baldwin County standing there next to our observer, and the Associated Press reporter got the numbers wrong. They flipped the numbers, and I don't think they did it on purpose, but they flipped the numbers for Don Siegelman. They gave his numbers to Bob Riley. Bob Riley beat him in that county, but the Associated Press reporter wrote the wrong numbers down. He fed that into the system. Every TV station in the state had the wrong numbers, except we didn't, because we trusted our guy. So we were in our war room, and I was going between the war room back out to the media to give interviews, talk about the race, give a reaction. Our candidate is Bob Riley. He's hiding in the back right now, waiting on the returns. And we knew what the numbers were because we had our own system, and we knew everything that was being reported was wrong. Don Siegelman, just out of spite, he pulled sort of an Al Gore, and he came out and declared victory. And his people knew the numbers were wrong too, but he knew what he was doing. He was trying to make it look like the race was his, and we were the ones taking it from him. The whole thing was phony because of an error, just a flip of the numbers because of one lazy person that didn't do their job right that night. And every media outlet in the state of Alabama had the same wrong numbers. Y'all, it was 2 in the morning. I'll never forget this. It was 2 in the morning when we wanted to verify that we were right and the AP was wrong. So we called down to Baldwin County, and we got Bradley Byrne, who was a state senator at the time, to get the sheriff, who he knew, to get up in the middle of the night, go back to the courthouse, unlock the courthouse, and look at the wall and take a picture of the numbers as they were posted, the actual number, not what Associated Press had. And we verified at 2 in the morning that our number was correct, the AP was wrong, and that meant Channel 6, Channel 13, 3340, all these TV stations, the Birmingham News, AL.com, whatever, they all had the wrong number. But it was 2 in the morning. Don Siegelman had already declared victory and gone to bed. All the media had left our venue. Never forget my buddy Rick Zerny was one of the last reporters still standing there reporting live. And we walked out and said, "You want some breaking news at 2 in the morning?" And Rick, I think, now works for the Birmingham mayor's office. And he said, "Yeah." And we showed him the numbers. We showed him the evidence. And Fox 6 got the scoop that night at 2 in the morning. Nobody knew it, though. AJ, everybody was asleep. Everybody was dead tired asleep. And we knew that we were going to have a legal battle on our hands because of this one lazy-ass reporter got the numbers wrong. We spent 3 days with no sleep. We rented helicopters to fly lawyers to county courthouses because the Siegelman team was trying to do recounts, find a way to steal it. The Democrats in those days could just stuff votes in Greene County, for example, where they've been cheating for decades. And we just were doing everything we can to prevent them from finding, quote, finding like they do nowadays, extra votes. It was why I related to this mayor's race and watching them steal it. It's always been the business model to stall, create some chaos, buy yourself time, and find more votes. They did it with Al Franklin in Minnesota. They would have done it here, but we had a pre-designated legal strategy and a whole team of lawyers ready to go if there was any trouble that night. And that's the only way we kept the Siegelman team and the Democrats from stealing that race over a handful of votes. And it started, again, I'm not making the assertion that the reporter did it on purpose to throw the election. It was just pure inaccuracy and laziness. And we never got the rest of the media to really admit that they all screwed up, that they trusted their own system and not ours. But we wound up being right. Our numbers were correct. Bob Riley went on to be the governor for 8 years. So I just decided to tell that old man tale to say that bad reporting and election night snafus and those kind of things happen incidentally. Sometimes I think things happen intentionally, but there's a long history with this stuff in this country. And that was something that, man, it's hard to believe that was 24 years ago. I feel like I was a kid back then. I was. Distinctive Pools. Speaking of kids, you got kids and grandkids, and you want them to find your house as to hang out, maybe even teenagers, and you'd rather have the cool house where you can keep an eye on everybody and the kids aren't out running around town. Get yourself a pool. Everybody loves a good pool. And Distinctive Pools builds beautiful pools. Pools that look like they belong, pools that are quality built. And nowadays, if you do it right, you're building these additional spaces, these hardscape living rooms and spaces to make it usable all year, not just in the summer months when it's warmer. But like I said, when football season will be here in 80-something days? Are you serious? 81. I think it's 81 days till football season. We get that fall leaves falling, nip in the air. You put a fire on, put the game on. You get your pool out there with the beautiful pool lights. What a nice environment. Let them build that for you at Distinctive Pools. They've got finance companies that'll help you make this real. But first you need a plan so you can get a budget, and they're ready to go. When they're done with it, it'll be right because all they do is beautiful, quality stuff. Look online. You'll see some examples of how they do things at distinctivepools.com, distinctivepools.com. All right, it's 426. Leland Live, talking to M5 Southern Skies Dermatology, ready to look you up and down and sideways and examine you for potential skin cancer. This is what they do at this dermatology practice, and man, they're good at it. Dr. Mario is a Mohs expert. It's why he came here to Birmingham to buy this practice and start helping people with these things. Because years ago, Southern Skies was founded. I mean, think of the name. Doctors Keith and Elena decided, after doing a lot of research, that Southerners, particularly in our part of the world, we have higher rates of skin cancer. We're people that love to be outside. We do a lot of things. And let's face it, some of us back in the day were just totally ignorant about sunburning. And so we have a propensity here in our area to develop skin cancer. So they set up a practice to help us deal with it. And Dr. Mario, years later, bought the practice because he was a Mohs expert, and they had this Mohs technology. And here we go with that. That is the only way you want to have a removal done, is with Mohs. It's a micrographic process where they take out a micro layer at a time, examine it for the cancer, stop when they have it all. That's assurance that they got it all, and they don't have to keep taking out tissue and guessing at it. With Mohs, this is how you want any kind of removals done. Southern Skies, what wonderful people too. Great locations and convenient for us all around town. At some point, they're going to give me the details on this new location planned for the 280 corridor. Southern Skies Dermatology. Go get checked. Just do it. Quit thinking about it. Trust me, you'll feel better about yourself, taking care of yourself. Southern Skies Dermatology.com. Let's take a look at the. I just saw a new weather map for coming up on really Thursday through Friday. And we've got this tropical system that's going to kind of, it's not really a hurricane. I'm not even sure what level it's going to get to, but it's going to move a tremendous amount of rain and, in some ways, stormy activity across Alabama in less than 48 hours. Now, our neighbors to the south are really going to get hammered, maybe in excess of 6 inches of rain on top of several sort of flooding and heavy rain events in the last 2-3 weeks. Now, this, ironically, of course, was the area of the state that had some of the worst drought conditions. So this definitely ought to move the rest of the state completely off those drought maps. For Birmingham, the predictions on the computer models are anywhere from 3.5 to 4 inches of rain. And once you get north of 2059, it diminishes. So Tennessee Valley is not that big a deal. Really, somewhere around Coleman may only be a couple of inches of rain. According to this, now these are computer models that will be included into forecasting, but it has that potential. So just know that going into Thursday and Friday, but because we've already got saturated ground, there could be some high winds, some brisk winds associated with this tropical system coming through, which could wind up toppling trees. Right now we don't have a tornado expectation in all this, but a flash flood possibility for sure for good chunks of Alabama, from anywhere from Birmingham over to Anniston, Tuscaloosa, and south. So, yep, they just updated that. It's looking a little more certain by the moment. A lot of rain the next few days. I think tomorrow we still got some on and off stuff, but Thursday and Friday are the real deal. Look out. Okay, bottom of the hour, we'll go to the phones, too. If y'all want to get in here on Election Day. What are you seeing out there at the polls? 545-9950, Leland Live, talking at M5. Stay tuned. You know, Work Trucks have been on the show for years with us, and they've helped so many people who want to get into business or in a business, and you're trying to just watch every dime and keep your overhead down, but you need a truck, and they've got them down in downtown Birmingham, 3rd Avenue South. All kinds of trucks, business trucks, commercially designed trucks, trucks for industry, box trucks, cargo vans, passenger vans. Yeah, they got those 15-passenger vans, Sprinter vans, all those things down there, and ready to go. They've gone through them, so they've done a lot of work, stuff I wouldn't even know how to do. They got a 125-point checklist, and I talk about it sometimes. How do you come up with 125 things to make sure they're correct? But that's their business, and that's what they do. They're better at it than us. If you need a truck, let them be your truck supplier. When you wear that one out, take it back to them. They'll take your trade in and get you a fresh truck and keep your business getting to your customers. Nothing like a truck breakdown while you're trying to keep things moving in your business. And they've got weird trucks down there. I mean, some of you know what they're for, but they're down at Work Trucks, and they go out and do a lot of work. And they're just great folks. Bubba and his team, just good people to work with. TRUX, again, downtown Birmingham. They'll help you with every aspect of it. I like to call them a turnkey operation to managing your fleet of trucks at Work Trucks, WorkTrucksLLC.com. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll take Michael's call as we're keeping up with Election Day news. Not much news, low turnout. Y'all's observations are fine. Who do you think's going to win? We can play with it a little bit before we get to the closing tonight. Michael is up next on line 3. What's up, Michael?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, I just went and voted a while ago, and they actually, whenever they took a picture of my driver's license, she didn't ask me Republican or Democrat. She just handed me a Democrat paper. And I haven't voted Democrat in probably 10 years. So I don't understand why I was clicked Democrat. They said they couldn't change it. That's the way it was in the system. And they actually made a call back to wherever they called and said that, yeah, I voted Republican last time. And don't know why it changed. And the lady that took my license did not ask me Democrat or Republican. And I'm just wondering if she had clicked it by mistake or something.
Well, you know, it's hard to maybe get into specifics. Where do you vote?
In Winterboro.
Okay. Yeah, so I know Winterboro pretty well. I used to, years ago, I used to vote very close to there near Munford. Yeah, that can be a ballot that can have Democrats and Republicans in it. It's some lean so heavily the other way. It's almost the exception if you want a Democrat ballot. The opposite on parts of Birmingham. But, it could have just been a mistake. Typically, though, you're not allowed to cross over, and that vote won't be counted if you had previously voted Republican, for example, if you tried to vote Democrat. But, yeah, that's the first thing they got to sort out when you come in is which ballot are you pulling, where are you voting in this runoff. Yep.
Yeah, she did not ask me. I remember the same lady asked me last time, Republican or Democrat, and, I said Republican, so I voted Republican, and this time she did not ask me.
Well, you should have told her. I hope you told her. You did tell her and get the right ballot, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I told her.
Well.
And she said she handed me a Democrat ticket to vote, and I'm like, no, I'm Republican, and she couldn't change it in the system.
Well, let me ask you this, just because I don't know you, Michael. Do you have a nose ring or purple hair? Or is there some reason she thought you were a Democrat? I love Kamala T-shirt. I mean, something like that.
Giveaway.
Yeah.
I'm what you would call the basic, plain, 63-year-old white male.
I got you, Michael. We all get stereotyped.
Than me.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Michael. Good call, buddy. We all get stereotyped. Anybody that pretends to be in a world that doesn't do that is lying. I was in a Starbucks not too long ago. This actually happened to me. I think I've told this story on the air. I walk up and this little typical sort of Starbucks employee kid, nice kid, but I walk up and I guess I got a look. AJ, I probably got this white boy look about me and my age. So as soon as I walked up the counter, you know what he said to me? He goes, Let me guess. Straight black. That's all you want. It's just a black coffee. I was like, that's exactly right, my friend. He knew I
Who
wasn't
would
going to
have
go.
Who would have known?
I want a half calf decaf with rainbow sprinkles and some pumpkin spice. He knew I wasn't going to lay all that on him.
You know,
With
it'd
some
have been funny
latte,
if you would have
some
did
whipped
that.
cream. Yeah. I should have said, honey, that is so wrong.
And can I
But
get some of
didn't.
that?
I was like,
What's that? Oat milk. I mean, it just
Yeah.
you know, it just does wonders with my indigestion.
I just look like a straight back black coffee drinking alpha. I hope alpha male to this kid, and he's probably bored with me because I mean I guess they don't have fun with somebody that's just like, they're like, oh, you just want drip coffee. You just want drip coffee. Yeah, give me a drip coffee and shut up.
I will keep that joke to myself because people will be mad.
Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
I was gonna say,
Say
you
what
know
you
what
gotta
they say
say.
when they come to me? Oh, you want some of that red Kool-Aid, don't you? I'm like, God dang it, really?
Do you get red Kool-Aid jokes? We all get stereotyped. Don't
I
lie.
do. I
We
ain't
all
gonna lie. I
Yeah.
do.
Let me
Especially- I get
Let me
a lot
guess,
of
strawberry
stereotypes.
drink. What?
You want some Mad Dog 2020? Like, bro, really? Like, that's
You-
all you think we drink? It's like, we don't. Is that Boone's Farms? Like, come on, bro.
Do you remember when our buddy? Do you remember when our buddy Mark? We used to have this friend group we get together all the time. You remember when he put a bunch of strawberry drinks in the cooler for you? He goes, AJ, I just assumed you wanted strawberry
Like,
drinks.
really? Like, what the Obviously, you have been around a lot of black people, so.
I don't care. I think it's funny. I love stereotypes. I thought the kid was hilarious, man. So I believe she stereotyped this guy as a Democrat. There's something
Like,
about
how
him.
much sugar do you want in your
Yeah.
coffee?
That's when old men like me look and go, they go, I'm sweet enough, baby. I don't need no more sugar. Hey, Don.
I miss those one-liners, man.
Oh, you got to have them ready. You got to be ready for it. Don is over in line 4. He's got, I think, a polling update out at the polls in Bibb County. What you got, Don?
Oh, you know, I was kind of shocked, Mr. Leland. We probably had about 5-6 people down here.
Well, that's a huge turnout.
For
What
down
is it
here,
usually?
man.
What is it usually?
You know, this is one of those deals. I have to admit, this is the first time I voted. I used to be called Don from Helena.
Yeah, I remember that.
But now I'm from Centreville.
All right.
But no, it's but really, I was really surprised at how many people are starting to show up after work. You know, it takes a few minutes to people from the Birmingham area to filter back down into Bibb County down here, way in the middle of nowhere. But I was quite shocked, and they did not ask me if I was a Republican or nothing. I just told them.
Yeah, and usually I do. And I think, you know, they'll typically go, but look, y'all got to remember, these folks are volunteers. We even had
Yep.
2 of them disagree on this show yesterday about whether you can vote provisional if you didn't get your ballot in the mail. And the rules can be confusing. There's always a supervisor to help sort things out. And it's a long day, and they're not experts on the law. But some of them do make mistakes. Y'all be patient with them when you can. But I typically just tell them right off the bat. Well, actually, at my
Yeah.
poll place, they kind of know who I am by now, and they know which way I'm. Which they usually have 2 tables, and one's over to one direction, one's on the other, and so it's. I've never had that issue. So, but things are going to happen.
Right. Well, I tell you though, you know, Helena was always, you know, where I grew up at. Where I was there my whole entire life, except for when I was in the service. And you know, Bibb County down here in Centreville reminds me of what I used to have in Helena. Now, AJ can tell you, man, it's good Lord, it's crazy in Helena. If you're walking
It's
down,
crowded.
if you're walking,
Yeah.
oh, good Lord, it's crowded, and it's still nice people. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really enjoying Bibb County. So give them some plugs down here. The polling ladies and everybody really did a good job and got me in and out. It was all good to go, and voted for our boy Jared.
There you go. All right, then. Well, good update. I appreciate that, Don. Just getting poll. We do this sometimes on Election Day, kind of to just fill in some gaps and while we wait on the real
Right.
numbers to come out. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Don. Good to hear from you,
Talk
too.
to you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, he was Don from Helena forever. So now he's Don from Centerville, I guess. Do what you got to do. Hey, look, Charles Allen Head kept saying Bessemer. Long after he left Bessemer, he was still Charles Allen Head from Bessemer, and we missed the guy. We miss him a lot. Hey, let me tell you about Danny Knowles, and we'll grab a couple more phone calls. Of course, my lifelong friend at the Knowles Group. These are pretty good times in the stock market business. records today. I think it jumped above 52,000 on the Dow, then closed literally 33 cents below on the day, but up 328 just on the Dow. All that on optimism. Y'all, by the way, oil is down to 76 and some change. We're in normal territory. It's done. It'll be priced in a few weeks. We're going to see gas prices go down. Now, of course, that's static. That's a static analysis. It's not going to stay there. Oil always fluctuates. It could go back up. Something could blow up before Friday, and it could go back up. But the trend is downward for the right reasons, and we're all going to get some relief, and y'all can start all the hand-wringers over the price of gas can go wring their hands about something else. Here's Matt on line 1 on a cell phone, actually. What's up, Matt? What's going on, Matt?
Probably a judgment day.
Yeah.
Probably a judgment day today. I was going to say that there's a reason why they're not asking. They didn't ask me either at the poll today. For the last 6 years, we've had the machines to do the work. So they on a runoff day, you're not generally asked how you vote. It's already in the machine. When you put your ID in, it's already going to tell them how you voted back in May. So that is not.
Well, maybe, but in this guy's example, they gave him the wrong ballot. He had previously voted Republican, was there to vote Republican. And they gave him a Democrat ticket. Yep.
Well, that had nothing to do with the poll worker. That had to do with back at the courthouse. But
maybe so. I think you're right. I think you're correct. It could just be the info they had in front of them. So.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing is I've worked the polls, and I can tell you that's a 13-hour day at minimum.
Ridiculous.
13 hours at minimum.
Oh, yeah.
And it is not fun to be there when it's not busy like a day like today. I was at my poll, and I was the only voter, and the guy by the machine had fallen asleep. They had to wake him up. So
I keep hearing that. I'm hearing it from all over the place. It's just Deadsville, Snoozeville. Yep.
And what's interesting is this is a big Senate race. I think there are two great guys, actually. Two great guys with a lot of experience in business, and one guy with military, one guy with congressional, state house. They've got a lot of great qualifications. I don't know that I've ever seen two better qualified people to run for U.S. Senate in Alabama, actually.
You know, and I'll join you in being a little optimistic on those things. As much as the negative ads are what intrude into our campaign politics nowadays, we've had some quality people running in a lot of these races that I don't find issue with. Sometimes it's hard to find separation, as you pointed out. You got a fresh blood with military background, impressive guy, next to experience, which is your favor. Then it's just a personal choice. Honestly, if I had to be honest, I don't think for the Senate, either of these guys, there'd be one vote in the next 6 to 12 years that would be different between them.
Yeah, I kind of agreed there would be a few different votes. One guy's more in line with the establishment, and the other guy, Hudson, of course, is more coming from the anti-establishment. So you've got them coming from different angles, but when they come together, I think they agree almost everything when they actually come together. It's just that one is committed to the establishment, and the other one, I think, is committed to the regular, everyday working person, So.
Gotcha. All right, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you. There's Matt.
Thank you.
His take on things tonight is, Election Day. What are we going to do? Here's Anthony on line 2. What's up, Anthony?
How you doing, Leland?
Hey.
You were saying that he was probably judged because he had a nose ring. I've been a Republican since I turned 18. It might be my age, but I got a nose ring and other piercings too.
Yeah, I used to throw people off with the long hair, and I could blend in with the liberals. They just thought I was one of them, and
I
always
absolutely
fun.
could too. I had hair down the center of my back for a long time.
And I got some of my best friends, my most conservative friends are just tatted up and just total rebels. And then I've got suit-wearing friends that are just squishy. I mean, but appearances are what they are, and people size you up when they see you coming in the door.
Oh, yeah, I don't have any hair anymore, so I guess I fit more the bill the other way.
I got you, brother. All right, thanks, Anthony. Yeah, man, let's go to – boy, y'all are blowing the phones up. Here's Thomas, our friend from over in North Georgia. This is our second Georgia caller about the election tonight. Thomas, what's happening with you over there?
Oh, not much, but I voted last week.
Yeah.
The beauty of early voting, and And that's kind of what I was going to say is if Alabama, the logistics of it is so much better for the voter. And I'm in total agreement. You don't need mail-in ballots. You don't need a drop box. You don't need any of that junk. But early voting, you go to the polling place, you take out your ID. They do. It's just like election day, but it's so much easier to get in there on a Wednesday afternoon, get in and get out.
Yeah,
and,
in person, even early voting in person, there's some flaws because, say you vote and then something crazy happens and you wish you could take your vote back. But
exactly.
you're the one.
I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
that's
go ahead.
The downside. If you can't, you vote for somebody early and something comes out that he's been caught with a dead kid in his bed. Well,
exactly.
Okay, you done voted.
Yep, exactly.
But we'll see what happens over here. I voted for who I voted for, and of course it was Republican. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. I have not kept as close a watch on some of the Georgia politics. An earlier caller said that you had two candidates running, and one had a Trump endorsement and one had a Kemp endorsement, and it was sort of the narrative is who's got the more pull endorsement wise.
I think that's Georgia. The governor's race.
Jackson
is running, and that Burt Jones has got the Trump endorsement. So I voted for Jones. So we'll just hope Trump's right. He's been right so far, so we'll go with it.
Good to hear from you, Thomas. Man. Appreciate you, buddy.
You take care. Be safe out there.
You too, man. There's Thomas out there. Blake Lee's Bouquets bringing you the show tonight. When's the last time y'all sent somebody flowers? Think about it. You probably got somebody in your life you love enough to send just because flowers. Those are when you get the most points for being sweet, not when it's expected. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to send them when it's expected. You got to do that. Don't miss that. But sometimes just out of the blue, be the best money you ever spent. And Blakely's makes it easy on us, especially those of us that don't know much about flowers. They've got prearranged designs online. Now, you can still get custom stuff done for sure. But if you wouldn't even know where to start to describe what you want, just get online, pick an arrangement, clickety-click, put your message in there, pay them right there. Boom, it's done. They send you a text and let you know that your flowers are delivered. These are wonderful people, super talented, the kind of folks you want to support. And just getting it done. It's good to have a go-to florist in your life. So make it Blakely's. They put two names together to make the name of the business Blake and Lee. It's Blake Lee's, BlakeLeelee, BlakeLee'sBouquets.com, BlakeLee'sBouquets.com. 456, Leland Live, talking to NM5. Ox Foundation Solutions bringing you the show tonight. OX, boy, with this flood, this tropical system coming through Alabama, if you've got water issues, it really gets exposed. The water table's up. We've caught up on the drought. And during those times of expansion and contraction, you could have an issue where water's just going to try to break into your house like a thief and do damage. So keep an eye out, and if you're a suspect, get Ox over. Just look around during these times. If you smell or sense or see, heck, if it's bad enough and you got mold, you can taste it in the air. That's nasty. You ever go in a moldy house? It's in the air. Those are spores in the air landing on your tongue. Get that removed. This humid weather really sets mold on fire. And look, the folks at Ox are the best at mold removal, remediation, encapsulation so it doesn't come back. And, of course, everything beyond that, house leveling, concrete leveling, if you got sunken concrete, water seepage, all of these things, Ox is just the leading company to deal with it. oxstrong.com, oxstrong.com. Let's get Greg from Wilsonville in here before we get too close to the top. Greg, what's up with you, buddy?
Hey, Leland. Just wanted to let you know I just left the voting place there in Wilsonville, and when I asked them what the number was when I voted, and they said it was 433. So I would think that's pretty low. I mean, Wilsonville's not a big town, but I actually live outside of Wilsonville. That's where I go to vote. So I figure there'd be maybe 2,000, 3,000 voters there. I have no idea. Is there a way you can figure that out? Can you AI that?
Yeah, well, you can go into the Secretary of State's website. They've got all the election returns, even broken down by precinct. So if you really want to get nerded out, and I do that sometimes, you can go look at what the vote totals were. The only thing I'll tell you is compare election to election. So if you really want to know how it compares historically, compare a runoff to a runoff in a primary. You wouldn't compare today to, say, when Trump was on the ballot. It's not going to be the same.
Sure. All right, well, listen, hey, I appreciate what you do. I enjoy every afternoon driving home listening to you.
Well, thank you, Greg.
AJ.
That keeps us going, man. If y'all weren't here, we wouldn't be
Bye-bye.
here. I'd be doing something else. Captain Kirk, man, we got like 60 seconds. You want to go or you want to hold?
I'll go ahead and go.
Okay.
Hey, just real quick, I just wanted to correct something that Matt said. And I want to preface with, I voted for Jared, so did my wife and my parents. But in the runoff, one of the differences is going to be Jared doesn't believe in breaking the filibuster. Barry Moore does. So taking issue with what Matt said about Barry being part of the establishment. I love both the candidates. I think they're both great. I'll be happy with either one that wins.
Good job, Captain Kirk. That's how you do it. Back in a minute. 1819 News on the way.